All right, it's another episode of Splash Hit. We're so excited for our guest today. Hope everybody out there had a great Thanksgiving. It's FP Santangelo, and my buddy is joining us today, Jack Thomas Snow Jr., 16-year career, 10 with the San Francisco Giants, hit 273 for the Giants with 124 home runs, 615 runs driven in. My friend, six-time Gold Glove winner, JT Snow. JT, what's going on, man? Thanks for coming on today.
Anytime. We've got a lot of initials on this show today. So, yeah, you guys are doing a great job. I watched your last podcast. I believe it was Shayna Rubin, who writes for the Giants, does a great job. She was awesome. And you guys are doing a great job. So my pleasure helping out. Can't wait.
Yeah, well, we got to take care of some business along those lines. We're trying to get some more subscribers to the show. So subscribe to Splash Hit Territory. We're trying to get 3,000. That's our next goal. So you go to YouTube, you press subscribe, or you can press it right here, Splash Hit Territory. Check out the cool logo. We got a kayak in the cove. So it's very unique to San Francisco. It's a double entendre, Splash Hit. So JT, we got breaking news right now. I mean, you're a professional manager of the Modesto Roadsters. So that after broadcasting, after being an advisor for the Giants, after being a coach for the Oakland Ballers, you're a professional manager. So tell us about that and how it all evolved.
Yeah, so I was the Pioneer League, which has been around since the 40s. Used to be affiliated baseball up in Idaho and Montana. A lot of great players. If you get a chance, if people out there, Google Pioneer League and see some of the alumni that have come through there. Two expansion teams a couple years ago, Oakland, and now it's Yuba City. They were in Davis. This year, two more expansion teams, Modesto and Long Beach. And the owner for the Modesto team, a guy named Dave Heller, check him out, research him, this will be his fourth minor league team. He owns the Billings Mustangs in the Pioneer League, Quad City River Bandits, and the, I believe it's the Delaware Blue Rocks, A-ball for the Royals. So anyways, he called me, reached out. He was interested in maybe getting someone that had ties to the area, maybe an ex-Giant. So we talked and hashed it out over the last couple months. And it really goes back to earlier. I did some work with the Giants. I've been doing some since I retired. And I reached out to them first and talked to the guys in the minor league system and had a chance to work with Bryce Eldridge last year, which was fantastic. And he's going to be a great player. And so yeah, that didn't really pan out. Couldn't get as much work as I wanted or have enough influence as I wanted. So I took this job. So yeah, I'm going to manage the Modesto Roadsters. The last time I managed was my son's 12-year-old Little League All-Star team. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I put together a coaching staff. We got 3 coaches. Pitching coach is a guy named Alex Leach. He's the head baseball coach at Modesto Junior College, great pitching guy. And then my bench coach is Gary Templeton Jr., who we all know his dad, Gary Templeton, shortstop of the Padres. So Gary's been in the league a long time. So we're excited. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Modesto lost their team last year. They've been affiliated ball. They were the A's for a long time, as you know, FP. And then they were the Rockies and then Seattle. And then Seattle left after the season. So Dave Heller came right in and put a team in there. We can get into it. It's going to be pretty cool because it's going to be Modesto's team. It's not affiliated with any major league organization. Our goal is to sign guys, and then affiliated teams can buy them and get them onto an affiliated organization.
So what level is this of minor leagues? What would you call it?
I think it's pretty strong, middle to high single A. When I was with the Ballers, I was amazed. And you know this, people probably don't, but when I came out of college I think the draft was 50 rounds. Then it went down to 40. Now it's 20. So there's half the kids that aren't getting drafted. They're really good players. So what do? They go to independent ball. There's 4 independent leagues in the country. There's the Pioneer. There's a Frontier League in the Midwest, the American Association, and the Atlantic League. So when I saw the play with the Ballers, I was impressed. I mean, it's not like some travel ball summer league. People are gonna be impressed. We got pitchers. We're already recruiting guys. We got pitchers throwing 92 to 95. We got guys looking for guys that are kind of high quality college guys that maybe didn't get signed. So yeah, it's going to be fun. It's like I said earlier, it's going to be Modesto's team, and hoping the fans will come out. And our owner's whole shtick is just to make baseball affordable again. Come out, buy a ticket, grab some food for the kids, grab a beverage, and watch some good baseball.
Dude, we've been friends for a long time, and we did the fantasy camp for the Giants last year. And just you lit up coaching fans, and I could just see it. I've known you for 30 years. I could just see it in your face right now. Like you're happy, you're excited. I think, and I've told you this like privately, that I think you were born to coach, and it's so cool to see you do this. And you just kind of look managerial sitting there. You texted me last week, and you said we're looking for a slogan, and I said Modesto Roadsters, drive to win. Is that going to stick? Am I going to get like the rights for that?
You might. There's a bunch of slogans going around. Guys like Full Throttle, guys like Pedal to the Metal. If you haven't seen our logo, go to Modesto Baseball or Modesto Roadsters. Check it out. One of the cool things is I'm really appreciative to the owner. He's given me full just carte blanche to like I designed along with my wife. We designed the uniforms. We designed the hats. We got home and roads. We got an alternate we're going to wear on Friday called Black Friday. So yeah, it's been fun. I got a chance to, I get to paint the clubhouse the way I want. The owner's like left it up to me, and I love that he's given me this much responsibility.
You're going to paint the clubhouse yourself?
No. I was there last Thursday, where they announced the Roadster and toured the clubhouse. They're painting the whole ballpark. They got a pretty nice chunk of money from the city, from Modesto, high six figures to paint the ballpark, paint the clubhouse. They're going to put a beer garden down the right field line by the bullpen, just things like that. So yeah, I went through with the painter, and we got it all laid out. So just want to make it a good spot for the kids to come relax, because you know how much time you spend in the clubhouse. We have some TVs out. We're getting new carpet. So I love the responsibility that's been thrown in my lap. And talking to guys, I know some guys in the league. Aaron Miles is the manager with the Ballers. He played in the big leagues. He's a lot like UFP, just a grinder, utility guy. They won the whole league last year. And then Davis won it the year before. So the two expansion teams won the last 2 years. The people up in Idaho, Montana were not happy that the California teams won. But now with us and Long Beach, Troy Percival, great closer. He's a manager in Long Beach. He just hired Troy Gloss as his bench coach. We got some guys coming in to coach, and the thing I love about it is these kids are all great. They want to learn. I've seen some of the minor league development, and I think one of the things that I noticed is when we played, and you can tell this, we all had coaches that were like ex big leaguers or ex something, and our coaches and managers all went to the big leagues later on. And I've been in the minor leagues working with some guys, and the generation after us, these guys made so much money, they're not going back into coaching. They're retiring, which they should do. But I think the players are starving for it, and there needs to be get back to fundamentals. We watch a lot of baseball, see a lot of mistakes being made at the major league level. We saw it in the World Series, saw a lot with the Giants last year. My players will know the infield fly rule. They will know not to make the first or third out at third base. So yeah, I think these coaches are coming back, and the players love it. They're all ears. So we'll sign guys, and after the draft in July, we're going to have to let some guys go, because there'll be a big influx of really good players who don't get drafted and want to come play for us. So my whole goal is to win, and then get some of these guys on the affiliated ball, and then sign some new guys.
All right, I got to take care of some business real quick, JT. Yep. We got to get to real quick.
If you are still carrying a clunky leather brick that can be mistaken for an old school wallet, may I introduce you to what Eric Kratz is getting himself for the holidays.
I mean, this is the greatest wallet that I've ever seen in my life. Your credit cards fit in here. It's adjustable, lifetime guaranteed. Like like this is a must-have for the holidays. Absolute must-have.
Ridge Olive Matte. That is the design that Kratz has right now, and you can get a hold of that. There's over 50 plus colors and styles to choose from over at Ridge. You can even get a wallet that features every NFL, MLB, or college team. And for a limited time, Ridge is having their huge Black Friday sale. Head to ridge.com/foul to get up to 47% off your order. This is by far the biggest discount they've given all year. That's ridge.com/foul for up to 47% off your order during their biggest sale of the year. After your purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about Ridge. Tell them Foul Territory sent you.
Gotta get that Dodgers thing off that says world champions.
Yeah.
We got to work on that, but the Ridge wallet is really cool. JT, I want to touch on first base. You're considered one of the greatest defensive first basemen in history, the best one I ever played with, 6-time Gold Glove winner. So maybe take me through the most important things in what you were better at than anybody else, and also maybe working with Bryce Eldridge. Like, Giants fans are so excited about this kid, and talk about maybe playing first base and what you saw in Bryce Eldridge, what you taught him, and do you think he can be a big league first baseman?
Yeah, so I was lucky. I think when I came up in the time, FP, first base was evolving, right? It was a lot of left-handed guys that were decent athletes that could hit a little bit, not necessarily the big, fat, slow guy over there that could just slug. So coming up, Wally Joyner in Anaheim, and, guys like Mark Grace and Rafael Palmeiro, and of course, Will Clark, and just different guys like that I followed and tried to emulate. And I think that I tell people, other than the pitcher and the catcher, the first baseman is involved in more plays. So why wouldn't you want a guy out there that can handle the ball? You got to take care of your infielders. I think that I tell people there's no secret. I worked at it. I mean, you saw me in infield. I took ground balls every day. I didn't necessarily throw every day, but took ground balls. I think one of my biggest attributes was my footwork, and I worked on that. And that comes back to when I was a kid. I played every sport like you did. I played football, basketball, baseball. I even played soccer in the summer. So I played 4 sports, and I played 3 in high school. And then when I went to college at Arizona, I just honed in on first base. So I was always working with my footwork. I mean, when I was a kid, my dad, this is going to be hard for people to believe. My sisters were dancers, like ballet. My dad made me take a ballet class with my sisters. And I went to the ballet class, and I was like the worst one in the class. And I used to go do aerobics with my mom back in the day.
I didn't know this. This is news.
And when I was a kid, I took gymnastics with my sisters, and it all paid off. Like, I think I lasted maybe 2 or 3 sets of gym ballet. I was the only guy in there. No, I didn't wear a leotard.
No judgment. No judgment. No judgment.
I just wore sweats. But footwork, and basketball taught me that. And then the other thing was just, just your hands. And I think I was blessed a little bit because of my dad being a receiver, but just working at it. And I always tell any infielder, every great infielder I played with always had good feet. Good feet allow you to have soft hands. And I wasn't fast, but I had good feet, quick feet around the bag, and I could make decisions. Guys from Omar Vizquel, great feet. Guys that could really play. David Bell, when I played them with the Giants, great feet. So your feet set you up to make you have soft hands. And, there's a lot of other things you get into, like reading a hop and knowing the speed of the ball off the bat. And I used to tell the infielders, just get it close. I got the biggest glove on the infield. Just get the ball close and let me work with it. And I wasn't afraid to go behind the bag. I've seen Devers do that with the Giants a couple times.
We'll get back to, I want to get to Bryce, but what's your impressions of Devers at first base?
I thought he was good. He made a couple of mistakes early on, but he's willing to play, and I thought he was good. I think if you play third base, you can go over there and be good. I was impressed. I thought he made a couple of weird decisions early on, but that's to be expected. You got to give. We're in such an era now in society where we're so quick to judge, right? One game, the guy can't play, but give people time. I mean, if people saw me play 1 or 2 games, they'd be like, "This guy ain't gonna make it."
No, that's not true. I saw you play in college at U of A or in the Cape Cod League. I'm like, this guy's smooth as anybody I've ever seen over there. So you're being real humble right now. So Devers, I think, is progressing well. Can Bryce be an everyday first baseman? Because you talk about feet. You just talk about feet. He's got like size 16s.
Yeah.
Like, is that always going to be a clunky thing with him, or can he develop like quick feet like you had around the base? Is that God-given, or can he work on that?
I think he can work on it. I think he does have like 15 shoe, whatever. I think one of the coolest things when I worked with him in spring training, and then towards the end of the year, he got so much better. And I had people, my old agent, I've had some coaches tell me, we saw him in spring training, then they saw him in the minor leagues at the end of the year. My agent was in Round Rock scouting some guys, and then they saw him in Sacramento, and they said the development was really, really good. Like, they were impressed. The play he made in LA late in the season, remember that he dove at first base, tagged, and threw across. So Yeah, I was in Sacramento twice last year, 2 visits, and he got better. I saw him play 8 games. He did hit 5 bombs in those games when I was there, but he didn't make any errors. The one thing he didn't like, which I used to love, is he doesn't like pop-ups and fly balls. And he said, because playing at Oracle, it's a tough place. So we played a Candlestick. That was the worst, but he got better. I give him credit though. We were out there every day, 2 o'clock, 2:30 in that heat in Sacramento, and we just worked for about 20 minutes. He was kind of struggling. He asked me some great questions. He asked a lot of questions. Cutoffs. How do you know when to cut the ball, let it go, man on second? So I told you to share the story with you. Just read the third base coach. The third base coach is waving him, and the throw's online, let it go. If it's offline, cut it, get the guy at second.
So you just peek real quick? Like when you're lined up, you're just peeking at the third base coach?
Say it's man on second, and you're playing back at first, and there's a base hit to center. As you run into the cutoff position, you're already facing the third base coach. Just watch the third base coach get set behind the mound. If he's waving him, now he's scoring. And there's always a thing too, like this. If the outfielder's picking up the ball and the runner's hitting third, you got to play. If the runner's already around third and the guy's picking up, he's going to be safe. If the runner's hasn't hit third yet and the guy's picking up, now we got a really good shot at him. And just read the throw from the outfielder. If it's offline, cut it. Know the score of the game, right? If it's a close game, we need to get that guy. And then the other part was, giving a good fake. If you're going to let it go, come get the ball and fake it to hold that runner. The batter now runner rounding first. If you can give a fake and protect and catch it and let it go, now you hold him at first. And if there's nobody out of one eye, you keep the double play in order. Just little things like that. So we all know we get in the game speeds up and our mind goes, but he's learned. He's a great kid. I think he could be an everyday first baseman. He's going to hit homers. He's going to strike out. But I think he's going to be. I think he'll be okay over at first.
That's good stuff. But those are nuggets, dude. Those are going to be cut up, and people are going to listen to that, and they're going to go coach their kids. I love to teach on this thing. Like it's becoming my new favorite thing about teaching. And we talked about switch hitting last time, and one of my Instagram followers cut out the part where I was talking about it's 2 different jobs. You got to come into the cage. You got 2 different swings. You got 2 different bats. You did that for the majority of your career. And then all of a sudden, our year in San Francisco, you decided to hit straight left-handed.
Yeah.
And you went up there against Randy Johnson, I believe, right after you started. You hit a base hit to left. There's a lot of talk about Patrick Bailey and him just hitting straight left-handed, that his right-handed swing doesn't play, whatever. That's not for me to decide. But maybe you can talk to Giants fans, listen to this, about your adjustment, why you stopped hitting right-handed and just hit left-handed. And was that hard to hit lefties left-handed? Because you did it tremendously successfully. Can you say that? That's not good English.
Yeah, I think it's fine. We're in the clubhouse. It doesn't matter. We're not being judged. I started switching when I was a kid because I was facing lefty on lefty, and a big left in our league hit me in the back. And I went down. I was sobbing and crying. And my dad that night at dinner was like, "Well, just start switch hitting. Now the ball's breaking into you." So all right, I tried it and stuck with it. Most switch hitters are naturally right-handed. That have trouble with the curveball or slider, so they go to the left side because the breakdown's about 80-20% left-handed at bats versus right-handed at bats because there's just more right-handed pitching. So I did it. The reason I stopped was I tore the labrum in my shoulder, my right shoulder, so I couldn't hit right hand. I couldn't follow through to get my top hand through. So I remember telling Dusty, "Hey, if we get in a blowout, let me hit lefty on lefty," and he did it. Let me. And my first at bat was against Jason Christensen, former Giant lefty, and I smoked the ball to left center off the wall for a double, and I said, "Okay, I'm done." And then I decided to do it the next year. I talked to a lot of left-handed hitters. Like that offseason, I got their numbers from my agent. I talked to Tony Gwynn, and I talked to Wally Joyner and Will Clark and Mark Grace, and they all said the same thing. They said, if you're a straight lefty pull guy, you might struggle with lefties, but if you can hit the ball the other way, and like my go-to was left center, I had that down, you're going to be fine. So I did it that year in spring training. I was in the cage every morning at 8 a.m., 200 balls off the curveball machine, and just watch them and track them, and then sliders. And then Ron Renicky was one of our coaches, and he threw me BP every day on the backfield. And so I felt pretty good. And I also knew that I was going to get a day off against a tough lefty, right? Randy Johnson, Mike Hampton, those guys. Glavin wasn't as bad. There were some other good ones. So I knew I was going to get a day off. And then I ended up my splits before I think righty I was about 220, lefty 280, and then after I stopped I was 250 lefty on left and about stayed at 280. So I got better, and I was also in the National League, and the other reason was I knew I'd be in the game late for a double switch or defense, so I was going to get a chance to play, maybe a pinch hit. And as I was getting older, it kind of gave me a little day off. So the thing with Patrick Bailey is I'm not sure if he's naturally right or left. But if he did decide, and like you said, that's for him to decide. He catchers get days off, so a manager can actually schedule. This is my manager cap now. He can actually look ahead in the schedule and the pitching, and he can give you a day off against a tough lefty. Like the backup's going to catch that day. You got to really work hard at your right-handed swing because you don't do it as much. So I was like, some days I would look at the next series, the next couple who we're facing. We're facing 6 righties in a row. So I may not take a lot of right-handed swings in the cage, but I'm glad I did it. I probably should have done it earlier and I also made adjustment where I moved up on the plate and talking to guys. I talked to Barry a lot about it, and Barry was like, it's not that, you could do it. I've seen you swing. He got me up on the plate, a little open stance so that I closed down my front foot. And that kept me from my first move, my front shoulder flying out. So I was more open. And then as I close it, it's hard to like close down and then, open up. So it was more of one thing. And then he told me, he's like, just look for the ball away. Like, just look middle away. They might show you in. They're not going to throw you a change up. It's going to be sliders, curveballs, and fastballs away. So,
JT, I got to get to an ad real quick. We'll be right. Hold that thought.
Holiday shopping season is here, and we have you covered from head to toe.
Let's talk about an area that's not quite close to the toes. Let's get crazy with this holiday season. Yeah, that's MeUndies I'm spinning around, but the holiday season, now you can get MeUndies with some holiday prints on them.
That's right. Ridiculously soft fabric holiday prints, matching holiday prints with your special person, or you can coordinate PJs for the family photo. And right now you can get up to 50% off with the code FOUL. We rock MeUndies. You should too. We're talking over 30 million pairs sold. Knock out all your holiday gifting needs today with MeUndies to get exclusive holiday deals up to, I said it, 50% off. Go to MeUndies.com/foul and enter promo code FOUL. That's MEUNDIES.com/FOUL. Promo code FOUL for up to 50% off.
Maybe they have some ballerina MeUndies.
I need a tutu.
Those would be a good Christmas. So quickly, and then I want to transition to Barry Bonds. If you were talking to Patrick Bailey right now, quickly, what would you tell him? Would you tell him to do it? And if so, how would you tell him to go about it?
I would ask him how he feels, and I would talk to him and kind of get into him mentally about what do you feel left-handed as opposed to right-handed, and just get down with him. And it's fun to talk to players because they'll open up to other players. Like he might tell me, when I go up there right-handed, that I have no clue. I don't know where my swing's at. I didn't take any right-hand swings today. Have you ever done lefty on lefty? And then my other point was like, you might just get, and you're getting older. If he can catch 5 days a week, maybe he gets days off against a lefty. He's going to be in there late in the game for a double switch or for a switch. They don't have to do double switches anymore. But just to ask him how he feels and just try it. And if he's not comfortable, then bag it and don't do it. But get on that curveball machine, and because he hits the ball good the other way. Like he's a right center, left center guy. When he keeps the ball off the ground and doesn't roll over like a lot of us lefties do, he's pretty good. And I think that the thing I liked about him was he was having a rough season, but at the end he got better, and it was almost like it's easy to throw the towel in at the end of the year, and he was getting crushed right by people and fans and media, but he rallied, had a pretty good end of the year, and just enough carrot, right, to dangle for the next year. But that kid can just flat out catch. I mean, you got to work with that. So anything he gives you offensively is a bonus.
I would think the hardest adjustment, like I was better right-handed, and I thought about going straight right. Left-handed.
Were you naturally right?
Naturally right. Yeah. And my right hand is my dominant hand, so I could get on top of the ball. And then left-handed, I was always underneath it, hitting a lot of fly balls because this sand was a spaz, and I couldn't get on top of it. But I always thought, like, at the big leagues with, like, exploding breaking stuff, that if I tried to go straight right, that it would be coming at me. And since I was 18, I started later than you. I started my senior year in high school switch hitting. That I would just buckle. So like when when Bailey faces the first 3/4 guy left-handed that throws us, I'm like, isn't there going to be a tendency to just be like, whoa, and just buckle and let it go in for a strike? I don't know. That's the part that scared me the most.
That's the hardest part. You got to trust yourself. And I thought the worst thing that's going to happen is it's going to hit me, you know. But now with all their guard, their armor they got on, it's not going to hurt. But that's why you get that's why you get down in the cage, get on the machine.
You just called everybody soft.
And just see it.
Just called everybody in the big league soft.
And get the machine where one starts at your head and breaks, and then one starts behind you. And that's why I tried to open up. So when I closed down, it kept me in there. And then if you get right on the plate, the hardest pitch lefty on lefty is when they throw a two-seamer in because you don't see it move at the end. And I got jammed plenty of times, but you learn to take that pitch, and then you just center over the shortstop's head, right? You're trying to hit the ball in the left center. And see, I'm left-hand dominant, so left-handed was my strong arm, so I could get, and then right-handed, it was a little bit too much of this, like you said, like little drag. So I had to really and I tried everything. I had a lot of success just putting the bat on my shoulder, so my hands were this way. And I did that when I was with the Angels. Joe Madden was our roving hitting coach. So he taught me to do that. Just lay it on your shoulder. And then that way your hands are kind of coming through like this instead of like this where I was losing it. And I was losing the barrel. So I tried everything. And, you know.
Was Joe Madden insulted because you didn't put your bat on your shoulder? Sorry, inside joke there. Let's.
I love Joe. He's the first guy I ever saw with a laptop computer. And I was in Vancouver in AAA. I guess got sent down. He had a laptop computer logging all your at-bats. And the only thing he said, he did this printout. He came up to me, he goes, look what you're hitting ahead in the count. 00, 10, 21, 31, 30. Above 350, every one of them. He goes, look what you hit behind the count. 01, 02, 1. Below 200, every one. He's like, so go get ahead in the count and get a good pitch to hit. I'm like, that was our analytics.
Keep it simple. I love it. All right. All Giants fans love to hear Barry Bonds stories. You played with Barry during his most dominant era. What was he like in the clubhouse? What was he like as a teammate? I came on here early and said that I would rather have Jeff Kent up in a big situation than Barry. And I thought about it after the show. And I'm like, dude, sometimes you say the stupidest crap. I meant that Barry wouldn't get a chance to hit.
And Jeff walk him,
they would walk him. So I didn't articulate that well. I'm sure if Barry saw it, I'm going to hear about it. But talk about Barry Bonds as a teammate in the clubhouse and maybe share some stories with him from behind the scenes.
Yeah. So I didn't know this at the time when I retired, but a reporter came up and said, you know, you played with Barry longer than anybody in his career. And I said, I didn't know that. Yeah. He said 9 years. He was with the Pirates for 6, but the Giants had some road. He said, yeah, you played with him longer. We had the same agent. So I knew Barry off the field from some things. The first time I ever met Barry was in the offseason. I got traded and we were at a function and a fundraiser, and he came up and we talked, and he goes to me, he says, you provide the defense and I'll provide the offense in a lot of games. And I said, well, I can swing it too. You know, I just got done hitting like 24 and driving in 100 runs. He's like, just worry about the defense. But he's the smartest hitter I ever played with. And you got to tap into him. He didn't come out outwardly and just volunteer stuff. But when you got him on a plane or you got him in the dugout, he was great. And he really added about 2 or 3 years on in my career because I adjusted later in my career, and I was watching him like, well, if he chokes up, everybody should choke up, because he was all about the barrel. He got me to move up on the plate, and then he got me to move up in the batter's box, because his theory was when you bunt, you move up in the box, right? Because it makes the foul lines go wider. He goes, why won't you do that as a hitter? Move up in the box. Now the balls I was pulling foul down the right field line were staying fair. The balls down the left field line are staying fair. The ball at the right fielder is now, to his right. And he was just like, there's 4 areas on the field where you can get a hit: down the right field line, right center, left field line. The other, you can get hit the other areas, but it's got to be like a perfect line drive. You can get a hit to left, straight left, center, right. You got to have a perfect line drive to get the ball down. So he's like, focus on those 4 areas. to drive the ball, and it worked. And a lot of guys are afraid to move up in the box, but I found when I moved up in the box, it got me going mentally. It gets you into the fire, and like you got to be ready to hit. And then he was right. Balls I started hitting at the center fielder were now in right center, and vice versa. We were in a game once in Atlanta, and there's a pitching change. This lefty came in. I was sitting next to Barry in the dugout. He was up third that inning or second, and the guy's getting his 8 warm-up pitch. He bounced like 4 of his off-speed pitches. So I never forget, Barry was putting his helmet on, and he looks at me, he goes, "Do you really think he's going to throw that to me?" He goes, "He can't even throw it with nobody up at the plate." He goes, "He ain't throwing that to me. He just bounced 4 of them. He threw 4 foul." And then he got up, and first pitch, he looked fastball, boom, home run, runs around the bases, takes his helmet off. He looks at me, and he's just like, "I told you, it's an easy game." And so that's some of the stuff.
Wait! You can't see that in an iPad.
Exactly.
Right. I see these guys in the iPads, and I know that it's very helpful, but like the game is an open book. It's a cheat sheet. It's right out there in front of you, whether it's warm-up pitches, whether you're watching the third baseman between innings, you can't throw the ball to first, you lay down a bunt,
right.
Pitcher tipping pitches. Like it's all out there in front of you. And I see these guys, and it's kind of, maybe I'm sounding old and screaming at clouds right now, but there's so much information to be gathered by just having your head up and watching the game.
Watch the game. I remember our great pitching coach, Dave Rigetti, we'd be in the dugout, and he was like, "Guys, watch the game." And so like Barry would do that in between innings. I also had really good talks. I remember in 2000, we lost to the Mets, and we were flying back home and in the playoffs, and Barry was not very good in the playoffs throughout his career until 2002. That year we went on a run, but we sat on the plane for 2 hours, and him and I had a few beers, and we sat there and talked, and he opened up to me like probably nobody in his career, and telling me things like how he feels like the whole world's watching, the team's on his shoulders. And because I'd always played pretty good in the postseason. I just played. Like, I have a theory that guys that play the same all year, get in the postseason, just keep playing the same. The stakes are higher, the adrenaline's higher. And Barry was telling me, he's like, I get up and I pace around my hotel room at night. I can't sleep. I get to the yard. I know every at bat, everybody wants me to hit a home run. So we had a really good talk. And I think he got a little bit of that. And I said, Barry loved it when you jabbed him. And so I said something to him like, "Hey, Barry, you're not as good as you think you are. Like, come on." And then in 2002, he went off, and then 2003, the same thing. So I remember him talking to me going, "Yeah, just relax." But he had a lot of anxiety, and he had a lot of like stress and stuff early on in the play. And the whole like the Sid Bream thing, right? In Pittsburgh and Atlanta, when the guys took a lot of flack for that. But I like Barry. He was good to me. Best hitter I ever saw. I was very lucky. Tell people I played with the best left-handed hitter ever in Barry. The best right-handed hitter I think I ever saw was Manny Ramirez my last year in Boston. I got to play with Manny and see him, and those guys are special.
My first day in spring training as a Giant, I walked down the stairs in Scottsdale in the clubhouse, and there's Barry. And my locker is real close to him. And I went over and shook his hand, and he goes, "Man, I thought you were a smart player." And I go, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "You're dumb for signing with us." He goes, "You used to kill us. You used to kill us." He goes, "Now all those hits you got against us," he goes, "you just took them away for this year because you're on our team." I was like, "Oh crap, maybe I signed with the wrong team." I never really thought of that. And my other story, and you know this one, I tell it all the time, is we were in Colorado playing the Rockies. And we had lost like 5 in a row. And Barry was in charge of the stereo in the clubhouse. And he would play the rap music every day, which we all liked. But it wasn't working. And I said, "Barry, let me do the stereo today. I'll put some AC/DC in, crank it up a little bit, to change the mojo." And he goes, "You ain't touching this radio." And I think at the time he had won 3 MVPs already. He goes, "When you win 3 MVPs, you can do the radio." And in front of the whole team, I said, "I have won 3 MVPs, B. I was MVP in my high school team, my junior college team, in my college team." And everybody goes, "Oh, no, you didn't." And then he loved me from that day on. Because like you said, I ribbed him. I gave him crap in front of the whole team. And I used to say stuff like, "Player of the decade, my ass." Like, you got to go first to third on that ball in the shower after the game. So you used to tell me, he's like, "Careful, he likes you now."
You know what? And I think that's a good, like, people, the great players are great. What are the top 10% of players? But they like it when you kind of rib them because everyone just, kind of kisses her behind and bows down. But my dad was great like that. We'd go to St. Louis and my dad would come in the clubhouse, and Barry loved my dad because my dad would be like, "Hey, what are you going to do tonight? Do something, thrill me." And my dad would be like, "You ain't that good. Like I've seen you. You ain't that good." He goes, and then he goes, "Now your dad, Bobby, he was a hell of a player." And then Barry would be like, "Oh, you have like," and then Barry go out that night and hit 2 homers and come back to the clubhouse, and my dad would be like, "Good show. Good. Do it again tomorrow." That's a great thing about baseball. So he loved it. He loved the kids. He had the place, the big TV with the recliner in the clubhouse, and we always used to bring the kids. And I brought my son one day, and we came, and all the kids would play PlayStation during batting practice. And there was a rule, with your kids, like you can have whatever. You can have candy. This. So we coming after BP one day. Barry walks in. And he's like, "Hey, there's chocolate all over my chair." Like who? There's like 4 kids in the clubhouse, and I looked at my son Shane, and he had chocolate like all around his lips. And down, I said, "You better go over and apologize to Barry." So he went over and apologized, and Barry's like, "That's okay, snowflake clean." So he cleaned it up, and then, but he loved it. Like those guys like when you you can challenge them a little bit. There's so much knowledge there that, and I saw it with Barry and then Manny when the great ones start struggling. It's hard on them, like the whole playoff thing. And then I was in Boston. Manny got off to a terrible start. And he's like, "What do you see, Poppy? What do you see?" I said, "You're not ready to hit the fastball. Every fastball, you foul back." Okay. So he would look at me in the dugout in Fenway. We're in the first base. And I would just go like this, look for the fastball. And then he started getting hot. 2 hits a game. And then he came up 1 at bat. And I told one of the players, I go, "Watch this. I'm going to go down the runway. And he can't find me. He's looking for me. And he strikes out. And he comes back and he says, 'Poppy, where were you?' I said, 'I had to use the bathroom. Sorry.' And he goes, 'I just struck out. I need you. I need you.' And I'm like, so it's just little things like that. Like it's great looking back. It's great to play with great players.
Well, that's why you're going to make a great manager. And hey, congratulations on the Modesto thing. That's super
Thanks.
cool. I'm super happy for you.
You got to come out.
I will, dude. I'm gonna come out and just teach your kids how not to play.
No, one of my goals is like every homestand, I'm going to try and get a former big league guy to come out for a day or 2 and I want you to come out and work with the utility guys and tell them how you round the bases and introduce you guys. And I got some guys to the Bay Area. I've already reached out to guys like Noah Lowry and when Rich Aurelia's in town. And I got some buddies when they come through. Just come out and spend a day with these kids. They love it. They soak it up and they love it. I've reached out to Mark Gardner, and Gardy's going to come to some games and show them how you held the curveball and show them, Gardy threw 90-91 and just carved people up. So it's going to be fun. I can't wait. It's a lot of work, but I love it.
Dude, thanks for coming on today. I'll teach him how to go out after the game too, if you let me. But but thanks for coming on, dude. It's been a pleasure.
You got it.
Dude, this was good. I mean, Giants fans are going to eat this up. This is really good stuff. So thanks for coming on. And I'll text you after. But have a great day, dude. Thanks so much.
Okay. Good luck with the show. You guys are doing a great job. And I'm watching this show, so I'll watch this one. And keep going. Yeah,
you can find us on Splash Hit Territory on X, on Instagram. And obviously go to YouTube, click and subscribe. And I hope everybody had a Thanksgiving. We'll talk to you guys soon. And like I say on the way out every single time, swing hard in case you hit it.